Hi everyone, it's me, number 16, Abraham Lincoln, an American politician who served as the 16th President of the United States from 1861 to 1865. He led the Union through the Civil War, preserved the Union, and ended slavery in the U.S. Considered one of the greatest presidents, he is ranked number 4 in the top 10 presidential rankings by historians and political scientists. In this video, we'll be taking a look at his childhood, presidency, and some interesting facts about him. So, stay tuned. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in a log cabin near Hodgenville, Kentucky. His father, Thomas Lincoln, was a farmer, and his mother, Nancy Hanks, was a homemaker. When Abraham was just 7 years old, his mother died, and his father remarried and moved his family to Indiana. Here, Abraham grew up with his 2 sisters and his new stepmother. There isn't much known about Lincoln's childhood. His father didn't believe in formal education for children, and so Lincoln taught himself how to read by using books that were owned by his neighbors. When Abraham was 18, his father gave him a farm as a wedding gift. And after marrying his sweetheart, Mary Todd, they began working the land together. However, Abraham continued his passion for reading and writing. He studied law and was admitted to the bar. And in 1834, Lincoln was elected as a member of the Illinois legislature. And there, his peers noticed his exceptional debating skills. He had a knack for making logical arguments, and his opponents couldn't refute them. This earned him the name the Great Emancipator, due to his stance against slavery. In 1846, he was elected to the House of Representatives but lost his seat 4 years later. During this time, he was also involved in the dispute over land rights with his neighbor, and in 1841, he shot an attacking bear with his bare hands. The story goes like this. Lincoln was collecting firewood when he saw a large bear coming towards him. As it approached, he realized that it was a she and her cub. The animal tried to intimidate him by standing on its hind legs and growling, but he stood his ground. The bear then swatted at him, which enraged him. He retaliated by punching the animal in the nose until it bled. Then he grabbed the cub and hurled it into the river. Although the mother bear attempted to rescue her offspring, Lincoln managed to shoot and kill her. Afterward, he skinned the animals and used their pelts to make rugs for his wife and 2 young sons. When the Mexican-American War broke out, he advocated for peace and condemned President James Polk's declaration of war. He ran unsuccessfully for Senate in 1858, but gained enough recognition to run for president in 1860. Though he wasn't on the ballot in most states, he won the election and became the first Republican president. However, his victory caused a major uproar among Southerners who felt that the federal government had ignored their interests. When he took the oath of office in March, several Southern states had already seceded from the Union and formed the Confederate States of America. Soon after, Confederate forces attacked Fort Sumter in South Carolina, marking the beginning of the Civil War. Initially, Lincoln's main objective was to preserve the Union. However, as the war progressed, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which declared all enslaved people in rebel states as free. But this did not apply to border states which remained in the Union, nor did it apply to areas already under Union control. Also, it did not abolish slavery in the U.S. altogether. It only applied to Confederate areas. Nonetheless, it was a crucial step towards ending slavery. And finally, in December 1865, the 13th Amendment was passed, abolishing slavery in the United States. During his presidency, Lincoln faced many challenges such as keeping border states loyal to the Union, dealing with war and economic issues, and navigating complex relationships with foreign nations. But he tackled each challenge with patience and care. For example, in 1861, when a delegation from the Confederacy asked him to recognize their independence, Lincoln refused and stated that he would use force to maintain the Union. He appointed a commission to investigate the feasibility of compensating slaveholders for their property. But when it estimated that this would cost $300 million, Lincoln rejected the idea. He also kept border states loyal to the Union by supporting pro-slavery policies in these states. These actions demonstrate his ability to balance competing interests and make difficult decisions in times of crisis. Additionally, Lincoln was successful in navigating complex relationships with foreign nations. For instance, he carefully managed relations with Britain and France, who had an economic interest in the Confederacy's cotton. By refraining from making territorial concessions to these countries, he demonstrated his commitment to preserving the Union. Overall, Lincoln's ability to navigate complex issues and make tough decisions contributed to his success as president. He had a reputation for being honest and trustworthy even before he entered politics. For example, when he was a young lawyer, he was once sued by a client who claimed that Lincoln had stolen money from her. Despite the client's claims, Lincoln won the case and the judge awarded him $2,500 plus court costs. Additionally, when Lincoln was serving in the Illinois legislature, he was offered a bribe of $1,000 to support a fraudulent land bill. However, he refused the bribe and voted against the bill. These examples demonstrate Lincoln's commitment to honesty and integrity, which were important factors in his political career. Another reason why Lincoln was respected by his peers was because of his deep concern for the welfare of ordinary people. Throughout his career, he made efforts to improve the lives of common citizens. For example, when he was a lawyer, he took on cases involving disputes between landlords and tenants, often representing the tenants without charging them a fee. As a member of the Illinois legislature, he supported measures to improve working conditions for laborers. And as president, he worked to abolish slavery and protect the rights of African Americans. His genuine concern for the suffering of others and his willingness to help those in need earned him the respect and admiration of his peers and the public alike. And finally, another reason why Lincoln was respected by his peers was because of his courage and determination in the face of adversity. Throughout his career, he faced many obstacles and setbacks, but he never gave up. For example, he was often mocked and ridiculed by his opponents, but he continued to speak out against slavery and for the rights of African Americans. When he was running for president in 1860, he was not considered a serious candidate, and many people laughed at his chances of winning. But he won the election anyway. And during the Civil War, when the Union was facing defeat, Lincoln refused to give up. He continued to fight for the preservation of the Union and the abolition of slavery. His courage and determination in the face of adversity inspired others and helped him to achieve his goals. Now, let's take a look at some interesting facts about Honest Abe. He was known for his tall tales, and many stories have been told and retold so many times that it's impossible to verify their accuracy. Some of the better-known ones include his wrestling matches, his debates with Stephen Douglas, and his assassination by John Wilkes Booth. However, there are many other stories that are lesser known, such as his experience with mental illness, his relationship with his father, and his views on race and gender roles. One of the more outlandish stories about him is that he once wrestled an alligator. Supposedly, it happened when he was a young man living in New Salem, Illinois. According to the tale, Lincoln was out hunting one day when he came across a small alligator. Thinking it would make a tasty meal, he tried to catch it, but the creature turned on him and nearly drowned him. Eventually, Lincoln managed to grab the gator's tail and drag it onto the shore, where he beat it to death with a stick. While there's no evidence to support this story, it's still a popular one among Lincoln enthusiasts. Another interesting fact about Abraham Lincoln is that he was a licensed bartender. While studying law in Illinois, Lincoln needed money to pay for his schooling. So he took a job as a bartender in a saloon in New Salem. He held this position for several months in 1831 while trying to build his legal career. It's unclear whether Lincoln continued to work as a bartender after he became a lawyer, but it's possible that he did so for a number of years. This experience gave him a unique perspective on the lives of ordinary people and helped him to develop his empathy and understanding of their struggles. Many historians believe that this job gave him valuable insights into the lives of working people. Finally, let's talk about Lincoln's height. At 6 feet, 4 inches tall, he was the tallest U.S. president in history. His height was a source of fascination for many people during his lifetime, and it has continued to capture the public's imagination ever since. However, there is some debate over whether Lincoln was actually as tall as he was reported to be. Some historians argue that Lincoln's height was exaggerated, while others believe that he was accurately measured. Ultimately, the truth of the matter may never be known. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my channel for more videos about inspiring people.